Don't even.
All right, here we go.
We're going to be.
There we go. It's
Eric
about time,
Henderson,
you know.
South
How you
Dakota
doing?
State head
How are you?
coach.
Good to see you.
Great to see
How's
you.
everything?
Eric, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Rob? Good to see
Good.
you,
Good
man.
to see you. Mike is hot. We are live.
Yes,
won't
we're
be hot
live.
long
We're
here.
live.
It won't be hot long
Oh,
here,
it'll be.
fellas.
Man, yeah, it's cool out. It's cool out here this morning. Wake up.
Leaves
and-
are changing.
I know. How you doing?
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Good
Yeah.
event here put on by our
Great
people,
event.
man.
No,
They
no,
did a
great
tremendous-
event, right?
Yeah. How about that?
I mean, you've been here long enough now to where this is kind of the first time they've done anything like this. And to me, they hit it out of the park.
they
Like,
hit it out of the
Commissioner
park, man.
Fenton, like, great job, right?
I hope they didn't hit more home runs than Twins tonight, but they certainly hit a home run with this. I'll be honest with you.
No, this has been great.
They really talked about building our brand, and this is a big part of it.
Yep. No, I agree. We're glad we came out here, and we can't wait to talk to Zeke after we get with you. And he's special, isn't he?
He really is, boys. I mean, I'll tell you what, he's really matured so much.
Really?
Too. That's the thing I'm most excited about, because everybody knows he's pretty talented, right? He can score.
Yep.
You know, he's really gotten better at becoming more of a consistent playmaker, and getting everybody around him better too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what's been special to watch.
That takes time, though, right?
It does.
I mean, you're freshman, you're a piece. Then last year, you're kind of worried about more of yourself, right? And now it's time to you're good. Now worry about everybody else around you. Make them better.
Let's make winning maybe
Right,
a little
right,
bit more
exactly.
important too. And you saw us
Yep.
a couple years ago in
Oh,
Buffalo,
my goodness.
and you know, and he was a freshman, you
Yes.
know, and he was much more.
But you could see it.
You could see it.
I'll tell you what, like it was. I just remember saying then, even like, how did this kid get out of Lawrence? Now again, it'd be interesting now to talk to Bill Self. Like, did those guys see him a lot? What did they think of him? You know, being the local kid, and now like, do they regret it?
Yeah. Time will tell,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And, you know,
totally. This will be a big year.
It'll be a big year. And,
Yep.
you know, Baylor left, you know, had a great season at Creighton last year. And, you know, Zeke, it maybe was a little early for him, what we thought, you know, but he just got thrown into the mix, and you learn by fire a little bit, and he got better all throughout the year. And I can't wait to see him this year.
So Zeke was the Summit League preseason player of the year. But he is not the only first team All Summit League preseason pick that you have on your roster. Luke Apple was that a broken hand last year that he
had broken shoulder, had a little
shoulder
shoulder issue, and then some foot issues. He had a lot going on, Rob.
Did he did.
Yeah, but it's good to have him back.
How is he now? Is he healthy?
He's healthy. He's moving as good as I've seen him move. And you know, 2 years ago, you know, he had 41, I think, at Oral Roberts. He really knows how to score. And once, you know, he kind of called it quits last year and got the medical red shirt, it really put a lot of pressure on Zeke, because he just had so much of that playmaking responsibility on his shoulders as a sophomore, where I think we'll be a lot more balanced this year and being able to score it in multiple ways, hopefully play a little faster again, get those possessions up again.
What's it like coaching at SDSU? What's it like? Take me through like being in Brookings, where it is everything, you know, and the pressure, the expectations, all of that. Describe that to me.
It's unique, I'll tell you. It's a college town at its finest. You know what I mean? You know, the beautiful thing, there's not a lot of distractions, but there's no pro sports team. So we're it, you know, and you don't see Chiefs gear, you don't see Vikings gear, you see Jackrabbit gear, and you know, you go to everywhere you go, and there's high expectations throughout our whole entire athletic department. You know, the culture that our administration, from President Dunn to Justin, is incredible, and you're either going to have good expectations or bad ones, and I'd rather have good ones, I can promise you that. But the people that surround us are so supportive in many ways. You know, our facilities continue to grow, and so it takes a financial piece, but maybe more importantly, the environments that we get to play in front of are pretty special, and that comes down to people.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot today, just the way that South Dakota, and not just you guys, USD, like the Summit League tournament, like the state embraces basketball at a level that I don't think a lot of people realize from the outside.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and you know, it's past pheasants hunting season at that time, so I suppose there's not much else to do. They're like, let's celebrate, boys and girls. So it's pretty cool, but they do embrace it. And you know, it's not only the men's tournament, but in the combination with the women's, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's what
I
we've
mean,
heard. The
it
women's
really
draws
is.
so well, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah, we got to try to get here for that.
In our women's team at South Dakota State, they're as good as anybody.
Really,
Yeah,
really,
they're really for 20 years.
Hey, what's it been like? You know, you lose Baylor again, and I know this is old news in a way, but still the overall landscape, right? Even with Zeke after this year, you know they probably came coming after last year.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like what's that like? Because again, you don't have necessarily the NIL to compete. You saw that with Baylor. Like, listen, McDermott's got NIL.
Yeah.
You know, you probably have pretty good NIL for mid-major level, but you can't compete with Creighton. What's that like now? How do you approach this?
Well, it's challenging, but here's the beauty of it. I mean, there is a little silver lining. You know, whether it's the NFL, whether it's in our sport, NBA.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're finding them from everywhere.
Right.
They're
That's
finding them from everywhere. And in Zeke's situation, Zeke really, hey, you have to look at short term, you have to look at long term. What is the best for you?
Right.
And it's different. That doesn't mean Baylor made a mistake.
Right.
But you look at Zeke and Zeke's ability, the role that he had is going to have with our team. This is the right spot for him.
He may not have anywhere else.
He may not have anywhere else.
Right. But it is interesting because generally, a lot of times, especially from some of the smaller leagues, they'll always use, all right, that's the one guy who succeeded. So like Zeke might look at Baylor and be like, all right, he had a pretty, all right, I'm going to do that. You know, all they need is one to look at one. There might be 10 total. 9 of them didn't do that well. One of them transferred up and did well. And all they think is, I'm going to be that guy.
I might have mentioned a few of those to him too.
Yeah, no, but it's true. Like it is. It's one of those,
true.
It's not always Baylor Shireman. Baylor's had a good run at Creighton, part of a winning program. But like you said, it's not for everybody.
That's what makes it unique. You know, you have to look at your situation and what is best for you. And I'm just really thankful Zeke decided our situation was best for him.
Is NIL how much? Because again, it's some of these schools at the Summit, NIL isn't really a factor yet at all. But for you guys being the probably the flagship program right now in the league, how much of your day or your week or your month is trying to raise some money for NIL? Are you trying just to be competitive so you don't lose? You know, like what are you doing?
You have to be unique for your situation, right? You have to take a look at your situation and make it as good as you possibly can. And for us, is NIL a piece of it? Certainly.
Okay.
But you have to look beyond and look at the student athlete experience, to be honest with you, and the support that you get from the people in Brookings and all of our fans. And so that's what we try to preach to our players, to value that student athlete experience. And it doesn't mean that we're minimizing NIL.
Sure.
We try to have opportunities for our guys to take advantage of that. And some it works and some, don't get as much. And that's the way it is. But we always want to give them opportunities and what they can do with them. It's great.
The level of expectation that the program has. 11 of the last 12 years, you guys have finished first or second in the Summit League. The only year you didn't finish first or second in the Summit League, you won the Summit League tournament and made it to the NCAA tournament. When you head into a season, you're picked first again this year. Like, do you embrace that? Is that what you want? And like, how do you wrap your mind around the idea that like if we're not winning, then it's a disappointment?
Expectations are something that aren't new to us. You're right about that. But I remember about 8 years ago when TJ took over.
Yep.
And it took us a long time to win a basketball game. And it was hard. Like it was hard because Coach Nagy had done a tremendous job of the transition from Division II to Division I, had a few lean years, and then Nate Walters shows up, a few other guys, and things can start to change in a hurry, right? And so it was tough during that time, and we were able to get it turned around and going again. But those expectations are something we embrace, to be honest with you. We like to play with the target on our back, and we try to do it in a humble way. But our program's at a spot where anytime we step on the floor, we feel like we're going to win the basketball game. And that doesn't matter if it's Providence in the NCAA tournament, playing Alabama last year, playing at Kansas State this coming year. We want to have a humble confidence in ourselves that we can win the basketball game. But we know we're going to get everybody's best shot in the Summit League, and people know who we are, so we're not going to get overlooked or anything like that. But we're pretty proud of what we've accomplished, and we're excited to keep this thing rolling.
You mentioned Nate Walters. You mentioned Mike Dahm, Baylor Shireman, Zeke now. Where do you keep finding these guys? Like, where is this just never-ending run?
It's crazy. It is crazy, this program.
It's
you take all the credit for it?
I can't do that. I'd love to, but I think it speaks of of just the community and the support that we get and the love that the people feel like they get when they're there.
But you got to evaluate them too.
But evaluating is a big piece of
Huge.
it. You know, we've always really valued dribble, pass, shooting skills at a high level, and obviously there has to be some athleticism involved. We understand that, but we've always valued that, and the credit goes to the guys. They have to put the work in and the development piece. But we've been fortunate to evaluate, and things have worked out pretty well.
Talk a little bit about the rivalries that you have in this league with North Dakota State, with South Dakota.
What's the better game for us to come to? If we came to one game, and I know this is putting you, people are not going to like you, but you know me, I'm going to ask the tough questions. What's the game we have to come to? If we come to one game,
say both of them.
I have to say.
Oh, you are. Come on. Such a cop out. That'll be all over. That'll be all over, baby.
Anywhere. I'll tell you what, they really are. Both of them uniquely are special. And obviously that you talked about it, you know, the pride in our state. Yeah. So that game, the USD game, is so special. North Dakota State has just been, our schools are so similar in how we look at things. I worked for Dave for 2 years up at North Dakota State.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I'm very familiar with both of them, and they're very, very similar in the way they look at things. And so there's just such a mutual respect for each other of excellence and how we look at things. And so I ain't going down that road.
Hey, when McDermott recruited you to Wayne State, right? $1,000, is that right? You're a scholar, right? Am I wrong?
Hey, this is how I feel it went. Now, this is probably not true. Back in the day, you know, Pell Grant got involved, right? Yeah. So I feel like he gave me $1,000, but took $2,000 of my Pell Grant, so I probably paid him $1,000.
Probably true. What was it like playing for Mac?
Special person, obviously. The way he interacts with young people and the confidence that he can instill in young people and the belief that he has is incredible. I mean, obviously a tremendous mentor of mine, and the job he's doing at Creighton is special. I mean, it's one tough call from the Final Four, you know, but just a unique guy that knows how to deal with people. That's for sure.
I like how you say tough call. We've been calling it the wrong call, but that hasn't made us super popular in San Diego.
I bet not.
Very true. All right, the last thing, you don't have to answer this one. Your boy TJ, the Sunday guarantee he told me to ask you about. But we're not even going to let you answer that one. We're not even going to let you answer that one. We're just going to let you walk off the stage.
I should expect.
I had to do it.
I
had to ask.
From TJ. I
had to mention it at the very least. I had to mention it.
Sunday may be the best day of the week, boys.
Great seeing you, my man. All right, we'll bring up the real star now. That's right. We'll send that response to TJ too.
That was exactly the kind of response that you were hoping to get out of that.
Zeke, great to meet you, man.
Zeke Mayo.
How are you?
Preseason player.
We finished with the best here, right? This is the way to finish. We had to wait all day for you, but we still got energy.
I had to wait all day.
We're good.
To be here.
We're good. How you doing?
My question. Good. Last name of Mayo. Where's the NIL deal with
I know
with
it's
Hellman's,
true.
I've been pushing it.
Really? You haven't gotten anything yet?
I've been pushing it.
All right, we're gonna work on that for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna work. I gotta write it down to remind myself, but we're gonna work on the NIL deal.
Yeah, I've been pushing it.
All right, so man, I gotta start with this. A Lawrence, Kansas kid ends up at South Dakota State and in his preseason player of the year in the Summit. I want to know how many times did Bill Self get in the gym and see you play? Do you remember?
I do recall 2 times. One, my freshman year of high school, playing in an AAU tournament in Wichita, came
Okay.
down there, and then once we went to their team camp as a high school, I had him in the gym.
And were you just not good enough, or what was it? What was the evaluation?
Hey, I couldn't tell you. That's not a question for me.
What do you think it was? Honestly, what do you think it was that maybe people passed on you at the high major level?
Probably my physical appearance. I wasn't
Really?
the biggest kid, wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about development.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they missed out now. So,
Mm-hmm.
there's no going back. But, no, I'm
Well,
blessed to be here.
When you go back to Lawrence, is it weird now, the reaction you probably get from people? Like, why didn't we recruit you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, people know. They've seen my name out there. They've seen film.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm in a great spot right now. I'm successful. So I'm
The right spot for you.
Exactly. You know.
I don't think enough people
yeah.
realize that.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe if you end up at Kansas, right? You don't
Right.
get the same opportunities
Mhm.
to develop. You don't get the same opportunities to play.
And that was kind of my
Yeah.
approach
Really?
during this offseason. Like, it was situational for me personally. Like, if I were to go somewhere higher, would I come off the bench, play 15 to 20 minutes versus staying here, average 30, 35 minutes, still have the ball in my hands, got the green light. It was just all situational.
Pretty good. The freedom.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
The freedom you have here, you're
I
probably
can't-
not getting
I can't pass up on
at some
that.
of those other
Yeah.
places.
But then also look at the I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah.
Actually, I do mean to cut you off. I
Whatever.
talk too much as it is. But look at some of the star guards in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Right? Where did CJ McCollum come from? Where did
Yeah,
Steph Curry
ton
come
of
from?
them,
Where
ton
did
of
Damian Lillard come
Yeah.
from? Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to be an all NBA point guard. I'm not
Right.
going to put that level of expectation on you. But
Right.
if
Not
you're
yet.
good enough,
Soon.
they'll
maybe.
find the level that you want to get to. I'm sure
Mhm.
they'll find you if you're good enough.
No
Right?
doubt. No doubt.
Speaking of Dame, how was that?
Fantastic.
Damian Lillard camp he went to this
Fantastic.
awesome.
Had a great time down there. It was a great experience just to be surrounded by, that whole crew
Yeah.
and some of the best players in the country. I mean, both high school and college. So, it was amazing.
Last year was kind of, I don't know if surprising for you. You could tell me. I mean, did you expect to do what you did last year and break out? There were a lot of factors that went into it. We got these flies,
No,
man.
they're-
Obviously Baylor leaving.
Mhm.
Some injuries as well. Like you were thrust into it and you delivered.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quick adjustment.
Was it?
I mean, going into the season, it was just kind of like we don't really know who's going to be the guy. So in my mind, I understood that, I feel like my talent can get me in that position, and not just from a scoring standpoint, like creating plays for my teammates and being, taking on that leadership role. But yeah, losing Baylor was obviously huge, and then the injuries, it all got thrown at me pretty quick and thrown at all of us.
Yeah.
We all had to take on some roles that we weren't used to, but that's what basketball is like. I mean, stuff gets thrown at you, you got to embrace it, and then you got to deliver.
Timing, man.
Exactly.
I want to ask you about two players. So we're going to start with Luke Apple.
Yeah,
Obviously, he was
yeah.
banged up last year.
Mhm.
Was named preseason first team all conference. What have you seen from him this summer? What are we going to see from him now that he's going to be at full strength?
Nothing but hard work. I mean, the kid can play. Like, his interior presence for us is going to be so huge this year. He's very, very physical, and he competes at a very, very high level. So I'm expecting big things out of him, and I think first team was exactly where he should have been listed. He's a great, great player for us, and I can't wait to have him back out there with us.
The other guy is so we produce the Almanac, which is a preseason publication, all college basketball. And
If you haven't seen it, we'll get you a copy for free.
we'll get you a copy. And what we did for every league was we had an anonymous coaches poll.
Say
And
that
asking-
word again.
Anonymous.
You really screwed that word
I
up.
messed it up. I got I'm not even going to say his last name.
For
I got
4
teased.
hours into this
I
show,
got- I got
I'll
teased
give
there,
him
but I
a
couldn't
mulligan
get
on
it
that
out.
one.
We got for breakout players, player who scares you the most, best pro prospect. Breakout player was Matthew Moores, an anonymous. There you go. I got it that time. Coaches poll for coaches in the league.
Mhm.
Do you see a big year coming from him?
Absolutely. I see a huge year for him because, I mean, he showcased some of his talents last year. Coming from Wisconsin, like he's been at a high level school,
Mhm.
and when he came down here, he wasn't used to being out there. He didn't play for a year, so. But I mean, it takes time, and he's got the talent to compete and play alongside some of the best players in the country. So I think this year is definitely going to be huge for him.
All right, what is it like playing for Coach Henderson? I want the real stuff here. I don't want this like player speak that you've been giving to other people here.
No,
Give me a good story. He's got great energy, and he's not here, so you're not going to get in trouble. And there's only a few people watching.
He's an amazing coach, man. I mean, I'm blessed to be playing under him. He brings energy to our team every single day, whether it's 8 in the morning, 8 at night. But no, I mean we've butted heads a couple times. But
over what? What are you butting heads over?
I'm not gonna go there. But
shot selection. What are we at?
No. But no, he's a great coach, and he has high expectations for each and every one of us.
Good energy too, right?
Oh, fantastic.
Right. I mean, he brings it every day.
Never a dull moment.
Really?
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, it seems it.
What is it like playing for South Dakota State in general? I think the thing that people don't realize. This has been a talking point for us the whole day, but the state of South Dakota, the Summit League, I think North Dakota as well, like they love basketball in a way that I don't think people from outside this region really truly understand.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, like just being here in this arena right here, this is where the tournament is held, and we fill the seats every single year. But for South Dakota State in general, like the community, the culture, the environment, it's incredible. I mean, we fill that arena up every time we play in there, and I mean, it's been proven we have the best home record in the last decade or so. So, I mean, it's a blessing to put this blue and yellow on night in, night out, and go out there and compete.
You've lived in Lawrence, and you've seen what it's like for Kansas players.
Absolutely.
In the city of Lawrence, in the town of Lawrence. What is it like for South Dakota State players in Brookings, and how does that kind of compare in terms of the way that the community embraces you?
Yeah, I mean it's honestly pretty similar. Like Kansas is obviously a much bigger school, but I'm not gonna say they're as like tight knitted of a community as Brookings is. Like we embrace football, basketball, volleyball, so like there's every single sport you can name. The community of Brookings really loves it and they support it.
Yeah. Last thing real quick is just you look at the run of players that have come through the South Dakota State program in the last decade, from Nate Walters to the Dominator Mike Dom to Baylor Shireman to you. It's really impressive. One, the talent identification, right? The guys that you can get in, but two, you watch them grow over 4 years. Like these guys, everybody gets better in that program. What is it about the just SDSU that allows that to kind of happen?
Yeah, I think it's just understanding, where we're at and where we come from. Just as, mid-major players, like your name is not at the top of the list of, everywhere in the country, but you're more than capable of getting there. And the coaching staff does a great job of, developing us over the course of the years and improving our game in every aspect you can name. Like, my position coach specifically has done a fantastic job of working with me and, getting in the gym with me whenever I'm available and whenever he's available. So they take a lot of pride in that. And, each and every player that's been through this program is very, very thankful for that.
All right. So what is it? Hellman's Menace? What's the big mail?
Dukes,
is that the big one? What else we got?
I like Kraft.
I'm writing them down. Kraft's your favorite?
No. I'm not gonna say my favorite.
What's your favorite? Dukes. I don't even know what Dukes is.
What?
No, I got nothing.
Whoever
Dukes?
drops the bag, Z.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's true.
We're just gonna. I'm writing them down. We got options.
Dukes, Kraft, Hellman's.
Anything else? Have we tried? Like, is anybody?
I've
really.
I've tried Kraft. I've tried Dukes.
Nothing.
All
right, we're gonna help you here. Dukes, I have no idea what it is.
I can work with
we'll get you a number later. We'll try to orchestrate. We won't even take 20%. That's the greatest part of it.
Right.
We take nothing.
Hey, whatever you say.
We take the big goose egg.
Whatever
it's all
say.
yours.
Whatever you
all
say.
right.
Whatever
Listen, great meeting you, my man. Great meeting you.
Pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you this year.
Pleasure.
Best of luck this
And
season.
Appreciate that.
pick up that leadership, right?
Absolutely.
Leadership. That's the biggest thing that you got to make the jump this year.
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
Can't wait to see you, man.
Thank you.